Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who is back in a city in which he dominated as a football player. This time he's not playing. No, he's coaching.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, the brand new head coach of the Houston Texans, an absolute legend, DeMeco Ryan.
Yeah! What's up, guys?
What's up, Coach? Hey, is that how friends call you Coach now? Like immediately upon going to the coaching level, you just become Coach to everybody? Or how should I refer to you, Coach?
Instantly. Everybody calls me Coach now.
Okay, I love that, Coach. How are the vibes down there in H-Town? Obviously, whenever you guys make the moves that you made on draft night and in the offseason for free agency, there seems to be a nice, positive, refreshing vibe around the Houston Texans and the fan base. Where are you at within the building, establishing culture, all of that shit, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, first off, man, the city is excited. They're fired up. We're fired up, right, to be here in Houston, family to be back in Houston. So we're pumped. The building is excited. Like, you feel the energy every day I come into the building. From the first day that I was hired until now, it's just continued to be great energy from everyone in the organization. And we're just continuing to feed off of that. Players are picking up their energy, intensity, and practice, and it's definitely headed in the right way.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
DeMeco, I know you've been coaching for a little while now. First time becoming a head coach. Is it what you expected? I guess now that you're the guy leading the charge, like, is this what you thought it would be?
Hey, you always have an idea of how things are going to go. I think for the most part, things have been ran fairly smoothly. I think it all starts with, the GM having Nick Caserio on my side and being able to work in tandem with him. That's really been a huge help for me, right? Wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else, right? To have a guy with the experience that Nick has had, it's really provided me like a lot of comfort in handling this position. And also the coaching staff that I have, I have surrounded myself with awesome guys, good guys to work with. It's going well. I think the one thing from the coaching aspect that you don't really feel from the coordinator level or coaching level is, and having to deal with a lot of administrative things like scheduling and probably doing a lot more interviews than I had to do before. So it's all of those things when I just want to tell these guys, hey, just let me go coach football and you guys figure out that schedule stuff, and I'll get back to that later.
Okay, so let's talk about that because obviously you probably don't have to do a lot of shit like this. So, hey, we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time, Coach. I know there's a lot of other stuff that you're going to have to do, and you'll be judged upon whether or not your team is able to pull it off or not. Is it as exigent as everybody makes it out to be, coaching in the NFL, just head coaching in the NFL, as demanding attention-wise as you could have expected? Is there any preparation that anybody could have told you to be ready for this particular job, or is it just once you get dropped in there, it's a little bit of a baptism by fire?
It's definitely baptism by fire. No one can prepare you for all the things that come across my desk, like each and every day. Like every day is different, which is exciting. That's the exciting part of it. Each day is never the same day. There's never a dull moment. Like there's always the grind and the work that goes in the ball, but always you have to be on your toes and you have to be on point. Like I was talking to Coach Mike McDaniels the other day. It's just like, man, you always have to be on point and ready to go for any and everything possible that may come across your desk.
You're coming out of that incredible coaching tree up there in San Francisco, obviously, and there's been a lot of success out of that, and the Shanahan kind of tree is blossoming quickly all across and around the NFL. What have you been able to take away from the Niners organization, or what have you been able to take away from being the coordinator for the Niners into the Houston building, and how much have you been able to figure out your own lane as well?
I think the first thing that I take from the San Francisco way is, man, it was a proven model that we had a lot of success there, right? And we played it deep into the playoffs multiple years there, was able to, be fortunate enough to go to one Super Bowl. So I seen what it looks like, what a championship culture looks like, and how do you build it. Because when I first started in San Francisco, and we started off 0-9, and to see where, how we improve year after year and to see where that team is now, and how you go through the draft process, how do you acquire talent? Like, man, I learned so many things from John and from Kyle and just how to build it the right way. So I was happy to have, be in an organization that started off rough, and it was a new regime, and it started off rough, but to see it change in 2-3 years, to see everything change and see the success they're having. And that's what I'm looking to implement here. Not an 0-9 start for sure, but definitely looking looking to implement just the winning way. Like, how do you practice? Like, that's one thing that we harped on in San Francisco is like deliberate practice every day. Every rep is full speed. It's all game reps. So when you get into the game, you're not worried about turning it up or, man, we got to get hyped for the game. Like in San Fran, those practices were competitive each and every day. And we got into a game. Some games we were able to dominate our opponent just because of our preparation.
That's a very veteran mindset, though. You know, like that is, I think as you get older, you know, there's some older guys that take G days every day and they're on the golf cart. I get it. It depends on what places allow and what they don't allow and what each person potentially needs. But as you get older, there's practice reps seemingly become just as important as the game reps to the older guys that can figure it out. You got a lot of young guys, especially at big-time positions. How have the rookies been? Obviously, you guys make that trade to go up for number 3 as well. So you got a rook on the offensive side that's going to lead things, CJ. And then obviously Will on the other side. How are the young guys, and what do you think you need to see out of them this year? A lot, feels like, right? I mean, a lot of pressure on the young guys.
Yeah, with the young guys, man, they've been as advertised. Like, it was important for us to get, both of those guys, and we got them. Will and CJ, they've been everything we could ask for. Just the mindset that these guys have, that they want to be great, right? And it starts there. For a player to be great, you have to actually want it, and you have to want to put the work in to do it. And that's what you see from Will, CJ. Like, their work ethic is, man, it's off the charts. So I'm very proud of the way these guys work. And with that mindset, they're only going to improve and continue to grow and get better. Young guys coming in, we know it takes time, and those guys they'll fit in just fine. So I'm happy to have both.
CJ threw that pick.
Yeah, bad one.
It's a bust.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I read. I read it on the internet. I don't know if you got time for the internet these days as a head coach of an NFL team. We'll keep you updated. CJ ain't gonna be able to do it.
No,
threw a pick.
Man, guess the quarterback never thrown a pick before.
No. Not the first preseason game ever against
the first preseason.
New England, right? Bill Belichick. Yeah. The whole thing is interesting. But I like the way CJ seemed to be very comfortable, and this sounds like such a little thing, but I know you guys are all looking at it too. Breaking the huddle, the poise, there was no illegal shifts or snaps before somebody got ready. Look like a professional. And then as the game continues to slow down, we're excited to watch him. I guess you would be more pumped to watch him evolve as well because, he's your fucking quarterback. You're a defensive guy, though. He's offensive guy. What's your relationship like? Is that interesting or no? You try to build up with him? How's it go?
Oh yeah, I'm not a defensive guy anymore.
Hell yeah.
It's all head coach, man. I'm an offensive guy when we're on offense, and I'm defense when we're on defense. So that's how I rock. And I told the guys that yesterday. I don't want to build a culture where it's offense, defense split. I started my football career on the offense. Hey, you want to know the position?
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah.
I got a really nice.
Hey, that's good leverage. You know what I mean? Yep. That's good leverage. Those big boys are going to be happy to hear that, though. Immediately, the offensive lineman goes, this guy knows how fucking miserable we are. He truly gets it, not trying to ruin them. I love that, though. It sounds like the transition going swimmingly over there for you.
Yeah, it's going really well, man. I have a really good relationship with the offensive side, right, with CJ, with Davis, all the quarterbacks. Make sure I communicate with those guys, talking to them in practice. So it's making sure I'm the head coach and making sure that they understand that it's not just, he's a defensive head coach. That's what I want to get out of their minds and let them know that we're all in this thing together.
It can be a little split sometimes, and I assume you've heard about that and seen it. I like that you're attacking that from the beginning. Pac-Man has a question for you, Coach.
What's up, Coach?
What's up, Pac?
What's up? I had a chance to come to your practice last year in San Fran, the vibe, and we talked a good little bit about the culture of what you like. My question is, how are you implementing your culture into the locker room, because it wasn't like that the year before? And I talked to J. Joe. He said Jalen Prate, the DB, is looking pretty good. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think first off, when it starts with the culture pack, it starts with the guys that you bring in. Right, so that's why it was important to me to add, Jimmy Ward, Sheldon Rankins, Hassan Ridgeway, guys who I've been around before, veteran guys who know what winning looks like, Robert Woods. Guys who they understand what winning looks like. So you put those guys in the locker room, and when it comes to the culture, I think it's a daily it's a daily fight to really teach and show these guys on what does practice look like, right? What are the habits we want to have off the field? How are we attacking the regen with our bodies? Like, it's just all encompassing. It's a daily grind to teach guys so that culture change. It just doesn't happen overnight, but adding the right guys to your locker room, the guys change the culture. Not just what I say, but it's having those guys.
They are the
locker
culture.
room. Right? They are the culture. That's what it's about. It's always about the men in the locker room. So adding a guy like Will, right? That's the guy who I want guys to look to. That's what our locker room is going to be made of. And that's how you build it. And when it comes to, as J-Joe mentioned, is Jalen Petrie, and he's been outstanding. Right, this guy he plays with his hair on fire every day at practice. It's just fun watching him as such a young player, watching him and Jimmy Ward work together in tandem. It's fun to watch. Kind of have to try to slow these guys down out there because they are flying around making plays all over the field.
Hey, rather have to say whoa than go, right? And that the old coach.
No doubt.
No
doubt. That's it.
Yeah, go ahead, AJ. Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You can finish.
Yeah, fuck me, literally.
Yeah, and that's where we talk about that culture, right? Building, like Petrie, like the way he practices, and I just continue to show clips in practice. I mean, this is what it looks like. Every rep is important to this guy. Every rep, he wants to make every play. He's gonna attack the ball. That's what winning culture looks like.
Look at DB showing up, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Joe said he's a dog.
You like him?
Yeah. I like him.
Petrie, we know who he is.
Yeah.
From?
Jalen?
Yep, from? Where the hell did he play?
Baylor.
No. Baylor.
Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baylor?
Yeah, he's a rookie last year.
Big 12 defense guy is the guy setting the standard over there. He's the clip guy. Love that. Hey, let's go.
How about it?
I love everything about it. That's what I heard. That's what I heard right there. I love to hear. Hey, Petrie, let's go, bub.
Here we go.
Love everything you're about. Go ahead, AJ.
Have you kind of figured out exactly what your game day operation is going to be as the head coach now that you're not going to be there calling the defense? I know you brought in Matt Burke as your defensive coordinator there. How is that going to work? Is it going to be tough not to step in every once in a while or try to really micromanage those situations?
I don't like that.
It was good having that first run this past week, man, versus the Patriots. And Matt called the defense. Bobby, of course, handled the offense. Then Frank handled our special teams. So when it came to the defensive side, I let Burt called it. He did a great job, and we worked in tandem. So if there were any, conversations or things that came up, any situational football, what type of calls would we go with? Me and him having a conversation on the sideline and working in tandem, and it worked very smoothly, man. I really love working with all our coaches on game day. It was a smooth process, and it was fun to see how all of our coaches were communicating, working together, really attacking the game on game day. It was fun to be around.
Swarming. Isn't that your thing, swarm?
That's it. Yeah, that's it, man. Swarm is something I started, back in San Fran. And the swarm mentality, it all started with, as we talked about the culture and the type of guys you want to be around. That swarm mentality is just an acronym for I want to build my team with guys who have a special work ethic and a relentless mindset. And that's where the swarm mentality came in. And then,
special work ethic and relentless mindset.
Hell yeah.
Fuck
that's
yeah,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome. So you like the word, you like the word swarm. Let's go back to the development of this. You like the word swarm, and then you had to think to yourself, what does swarm mean? What does it? What is it? What does it mean to me? And then you start piecing special work ethic and relentless mindset.
Boom.
Fucking book it.
Send it.
Hey, that's genius. That is very. How'd you get to swarm? And you're still. Is this going to be in every? Is this like the Texans motto now?
That's what it is for right now, right, Will? I think as I build it out, it all starts, like I talked about, with the people you want. And as I start out, that's where we are now. That's what the Texan culture will be about, swarming, right? And it's attacking everything. Of course, swarm is all-encompassing, but to me, it involves teamwork, right? It involves togetherness, how you attack issues, and it's swarming this thing all together. How are you going to attack a defense or offense? Man, it's those 11 guys out there swarming together on the field. So it's all-encompassing for me.
Coach, you got a good one there. I think that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they say, like, keep it simple, stupid.
Bingo.
Oh, there's like the coach, there's so much coach stuff. That swarm one. Hey, that's a good one.
Keeper.
That is a good one.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah, maybe you're supposed to coach.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're supposed to coach. You always knew you were going to be a coach?
Yeah, it started out, man, during the lockout year. You guys remember that lockout year of 2011? That's where I was rehabbing. I tore my Achilles, so I was rehabbing during that process. Couldn't be here to work out, so I went back home, Alabama, and I started working with our high school, my old high school, and started coaching those kids through a spring game. And those kids hadn't won in a long time. They hadn't won a game in a year or so. And man, I got out there, started working with those kids, and we put together a nice little plan, went out and won a spring game. And to see the excitement on those kids' faces when we won, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Like, I want to continue this process. Didn't know it would turn into this.
Didn't know I would be a fucking defensive genius. Yeah. Didn't know that I'd be able to create swarm and motivate the hell out of people. Yeah, didn't know, but it's a nice little perk, though, isn't it? Nice little perk at the start.
It is. Yeah, it is, man. It all started coaching. All started with me was just really, man, just want to go back and help younger guys. So I thought I would do it on the high school level, but then it was like, man, if I can get the opportunity to do it in the league, why not? So San Fran, Kyle allowed me to come in. Kyle and Robert Saleh allowed me to come in and work with those guys. And I actually learned what coaching was actually about that first year. And I understood the grind of coaching and how I didn't know anything about coaching, and I had to figure it out very quickly. But I just enjoy helping these young men. That's what it's all about for me.
See, I think you should have got a head coaching job immediately.
Yeah.
One spring game, right to head coach. Jeff Saturday.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? Jeff Saturday, just make it. We love Jeff. I was happy for him. Had to happen. Connor, to that point, though, I think Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned some of the stuff you got to do as the head coach with interviews and scheduling and stuff, but sometimes when guys go from, DC or OC to head coach, they kind of change a little. Recently with Robert Saleh, you just mentioned him, that first year in New York, it felt like he wasn't the jovial, Niners D coordinator he was, and it kind of took him a year until his second year in New York where he became what we thought was kind of similar to who he was in San Fran. Have you found it difficult at all going to, the head coach role and still remaining the same, coach type that you were in San Francisco? Obviously, you got to work more with the offense and the team as a whole, but is that difficult at all, or has it been so far?
It hasn't been different. One thing I told myself throughout this process, becoming a head coach, is I'm going to be me and I'm going to do it my way, right? And I just believe in being positive, energetic every single day. And I want my team to feel that from me. So every time I step up in front of those guys, it's high energy. I'm bringing it. When we're on practice, I'm at guys. I'm yelling at guys. I'm intense out there on the field. That's how I was as a D coordinator, and I'm the same as a head coach. I'm barking at the offense, the defense. Like, I want guys to play with some intensity and passion because that's who I am. So I want our team to exude my personality to show up in our team.
Is there music playing at practice?
Oh, yeah, we got music playing. We got all the guys, provided a song, their favorite song. And so we just run a playlist of just different songs with all the guys. It's all about the players and what they want to listen to at practice. So that's what we listen to.
Has there been a song yet where everybody was like, who the fuck? Has there been one of those yet? Or pretty good? We feel pretty good about the play?
I think they've been too tired to even understand what's being played.
How is it? How is camp? You running a tough camp? Feel like you have to have a tough camp, right?
Yeah, you have to have a tough camp. And we have a different element here with the heat, the humidity here in Houston. It's definitely, it's a beast out here. So our guys, they're getting it in, man. Nobody complains. Guys put the work in. So it's fun to watch these guys work.
You guys joint practicing, and how are those not fights every period?
Yeah, funny you bring it up. We're actually joint practicing. Our first one will be tomorrow, and we'll go Wednesday and Thursday versus the Dolphins. So how is it not a fight? We just let guys know up front, man. We want to actually use these joint practices to get better, right? Going against different schemes, different people. We don't want to waste time and energy fighting because there's nothing to gain from that. So we really want to attack it head on and make sure we get the opportunity to take advantage of these days and not waste our time.
Just don't take me down to the ground.
I think that ain't gonna work.
Don't take me down to the ground.
I don't. It just from covering them now, because they're much more prevalent, it feels like, in the NFL now than they were back in the day when I was playing, when you guys started the whole thing, you know what I mean? Feels like it's much different. And all it is for us as internet people is just like fight after fight after fight. And then you just start thinking about it. It's like, how is it not a fight? And you don't have to say this because you're one of the head coaches in the NFL, but I think me as a fan now, if the Colts have a joint practice for 3 days with a team, and there's pads, and there isn't a fight, I think, like, as a fan, I'm going to be like, what the fuck is wrong? What is wrong with our team? Feels like there should be a little bit more somewhere. But if you guys are able to control it, I think it's only going to make the teams better and better, and we love it, Coach.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for that speech. Woo. Hey, last question here for you from Ty.
Yeah, Coach, obviously, like, when you get into the league, the goal is to win, and if you don't win, you're not going to be around very long. But when you come into a new situation, you have a whole new regime. Like you mentioned it, you're going to have a lot of young guys who need to kind of contribute and make an impact early. How do you set realistic expectations within, like, your coaching room and also within the team?
Yeah, for me, when you talk about it, I understand, like, the urgency, all right, about being in the league and having this position. So I don't take that lightly. And as I come into the situation, man, we are trying to attack everything every day, like, we are attacking this to win. I know there are some guys who have to grow and develop, but hey, I told the guys too, that, like, we're running out of time. Like, it's time to go. Like, when it's time to go and compete, line up on Sundays, like, we're going to win games. We're not going to develop talent. Like, we're going to win games. That's when you talk to guys on our team, like veterans like Laramie Tunsil, Robert Woods, like Malik Collins, Sheldon Rankins. They're not trying to develop talent. Like, we're trying to go win games. That's what the league is about, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to put out there, a winning mindset in everything that we do.
Coach, I fucking love you, buddy. It sucks, though, you got to play the Colts 2 times a year.
It's going to be tough.
You know what I mean? I know you guys got to
You're not there anymore.
Okay. You're right. You're actually right. And
so we got a chance. We got a chance.
Yeah, you're right, Coach, because that's what teams are worried about in the AFC South. They still got Pat McAfee up there. Boy, we're fucked. That's what they actually thought. I think, though, CJ, this young class of quarterbacks and this young generation of quarterbacks, I think the league is in great hands, Coach. And I know you have to go, but I feel like we're in a great spot. You feel like that with your guy, right? I assume you've been around a lot of great football, and you're going to have to say this, but as a fan, it feels like we got a great young group of quarterbacks right now in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, it's fun to see, man. It's time for that next group, right, to come up and to take over. And it's fun to see all these young guys coming up, right, different levels of talent, but it's exciting, right? And I think the most exciting part about the new regime of quarterbacks is just the athleticism at the quarterback position. And that's what's changing in the league. That's where it's going. No, not all the typical drop-back quarterbacks, but these guys being able to move and make plays with their feet. It's more exciting for the game, more challenging on defenses, but it's fun to watch. And I'm fired up for these young guys, and the opportunity to see them change the league is going to be a beauty to see.
Dude, CJ was able to evade a couple sacks too in that first preseason game. Yep. People forget about that whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Houston Texans, legend DeMeco Ryans. Thank you, Coach.